Welcome to another weekend here on the platform. My name is Sam Omashe. I have a special guest today. He's none other than the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel. You're welcome to this show, sir.
Thank you, Bro Sam.
It is 6 years since you mounted the throne, and it looked like yesterday. But now, you are looking down the road. What is going on in your mind as you mark your sixth?
Well, Bro Sam, let me first of all use this platform to appreciate all our Akwa Ibomites, those at home and those in the diaspora. I've gotten tremendous support from my people, building up from campaigns to elections. In the 2 times that I campaigned to be elected into this office, they've given me tremendous support. And even after that, my people have really stood by me, and I don't take that for granted. I just want to use this platform to appreciate my people and tell them that I owe them my service. And after God is my people. And I really want to tell them that I'm here to serve them, and I appreciate God's strength so far in the past 6 years and what God has used us to do. It's been a very trying moment. It's not easy. Within 6 years, 2 major recessions, then capped it all with the global pandemic in over 1 year now. And I can only turn around, look around and say God has been faithful. God is ever faithful, ever sure. God has really been faithful in helping and strengthening us. There are times it just feels as if, oh, why this time? But you can't question God. God said so that in a time like this, He chose some of us to be in the saddle. And I really want to thank God. But looking around, if you say what's in my mind, if I empty all my mind, I'm sure we'll buy up the entire TV time for more than 24 hours. What is in my mind is my people, my people, my people. That's the way I put it. Why am I saying so? There's nothing I do in line with, in line with how we are being led to do it. That is not about my people. I'm a governor who has been here to serve full time. And when I say full time, no distraction. And also I will say that I'm a governor on a mission. And you say if you're somebody on a mission, you cannot easily be distracted. So that's why with all the antics of, just a tiny fraction of, people trying to distract us, get out of the way, we remain focused so that we can go on our plan, because it's a very difficult time that the whole world is facing. So it's a very challenging time for leadership, but you don't take your eye off the ball at any point in time. So still trying to, redefine, trying to reappraise in this period of this trying moment. Mind you, you also have a guiding leadership book. There's nothing that is happening today that did not happen before. There's no situation we'll face today as a people that others have not faced before. So you have a reference point. When it happened at this time, what did the leaders do at that point in time? So that will guide you. You might not lift it 100%, but that will guide you seriously to really, really know what steps to take, what to do. And unfortunately, politics is also one platform I come to discover that a lot of people, I'm not saying all, a lot of people do not give chance for, what the Almighty to do His will. He says so much in a man's heart, but it's only the Lord's determinate counsel that shall stand. Many are the devices in a man's heart. It's only the Lord's determinate counsel that shall stand. Even what we are facing today as a country, if you check, I'm not saying I have checked too, if you check very well, I'm sure you would have found it somewhere that it must have happened before. By the time you check from Genesis to Malachi, you'll find it must have happened somewhere. And the problem is we don't take time to find a solution that can last. If we do that, I think we'll get rid of it. So a whole lot that had been on my mind, have the mindset. You know, I'm a governor who came here with a blueprint. So oftentimes these days, I go back, I flip through my laptop. I wanted to do A, B, C, D. How much have I done? How much have I achieved? What are the setbacks? Can I still be able to overrun these setbacks in the next 2 years to achieve this goal? Assuming I'm unable to, because I'm human. No human being is perfect. You can never get it all. It's only God that can get it all. Assuming I'm unable to overcome these challenges, what should be my next line of action? In life, every aspect of life, there's always an alternative. That's my personal belief. I don't know what others believe, but that's my personal belief. There's always an alternative. So if road A is blocked, if I try alternative B, can I still get to that destination in order to get to where I can leave my people at this point in time? And you know one thing about government, you do your best at your own time. Another person comes and then keep building. And I think I'll leave at that point for now until I get specific
issues
like that you want to talk about.
I saw your work with the coconut oil factory, and it's one of the evidence of
creativity and ideas.
Work going on, but you know, it's also affected by the pandemic. You were supposed to launch it May, but it's not ready by May. How will you talk to how the pandemic has already affected, you know, your capacity to deliver?
In all honesty, the pandemic had really slowed us down extremely. You know, we're on a very high level speed, because you know, the whole world is governed by ideas. We came here with a whole lot of ideas to implement, not necessarily money. I can bet my certificate that what we've put on ground is far in excess of the money we've received. When I say money we receive, once you get the money, take out the salaries, the pensions, and what in government they call the first line charge. Check how much is left, and then compare with what we've done on ground in terms of capital project, infrastructure, and the rest of them. Even soft infrastructure that you cannot easily pick up. Training, youth capacity building, and so many other things. Check those soft infrastructure and then add up. So the pandemic has really affected us. You just made a mention specifically about our virgin coconut oil refinery. If I can just give you a little background, it is one of the visions of this government that you can never, I repeat, you can never see it replicate anywhere in Africa. But Sam, if you see it, I do 10 of that before I leave office. You can't find it anywhere because it's out of creativity and ideas. What happened? There was a portion of land in about 2-3 local government areas of the state that was quite a sandy, was a disputed area. So one day I just had, you know, this intuition that look, government can actually move in here. We can turn this place now into something that can generate money. Because everything God created is for his pleasure, and whatever is for his pleasure can be useful to man. So that's how the idea came. And we now checked, we discovered that there are certain special species of coconut seedlings that we could bring into Nigeria that could grow there. They are dwarf coconuts, high yield. So that's how we started the journey. From that journey, we started checking different technologies of virgin, not refinery. We don't want to refine the virgin. I mean, you know, there are 2 stages.
Yes.
This is raw virgin coconut oil, which is what is, I mean, moving in the market. So that's how we looked at the technology. Malaysia, Indonesia, some parts in Europe, I don't want to mention all. And then look at, based on our weather, our power systems, the exposure of our skilled manpower, what can we manage in Africa? So it's been a whole lot of thinking, what you saw yesterday. That's how we arrived at that whole long haul. And we were to commission it this May, but you could see that a whole lot of part of those technologies, the greater portion of it is done in India. And there have been a whole lot of restrictions since last year. For over 1 year now, Indians have not been able to come here.
Yeah.
And we needed them to come and do the installation and then train our local manpower to be able to man it so that maintenance could be easier. So if at all we want to do routine maintenance, apart from few spare parts, there's nothing that I cannot find locally. I mean, that's the way we came up with the idea. So we couldn't do that because there were a whole lot of delays. Even the ports were closed for a long period of time.
Yes.
So even when we were bringing in the manufacturing line, it got so delayed at the port for close to 6 months. We couldn't clear, I mean, in order to bring it for installation. After the clearance now at the port, the Indians are not available to help us. Other technologies like the Malaysian aspect, you can see we are working on something. Yeah. The ones from Europe, you could see Europeans were there yesterday. But those aspects that are supposed to be an input from the, Indian technology, where we had some setbacks. Not only that, it even affected even our healthcare, because whether we like it or not, a whole lot of equipment, what you use in healthcare, we don't manufacture them in Nigeria.
Like the syringe factory?
Not the syringe, in terms of our secondary healthcare system.
Okay.
If you check, we were on a mission in every federal constituency in this state. You go walking, you will have at least one major general hospital refurbished by this administration that will meet the standard in terms of equipment, in terms of manpower, in terms of service of any of such general hospitals you can find anywhere. Let me even stay in Africa, let me put it that way. And then if you go to a specialty hospital, is it the ICU, which the whole world had come to acclaim? Even people who are in teaching hospitals acclaim that that's the best they found so far around this area. We are not known to be making so much noise. I was interviewed at a radio program 2 weeks ago. I told them, some of us, we are known for execution. We are not known for noise making. And you can't be good at two. If you execute so much, you talk less and just go and execute. And what Nigerians need today is somebody who can execute. Not somebody who, so much noise have not helped in the past. So put something in the ground, let the whole economy benefit from it. I think that's what we are doing. But I'm just praying because we're to bring in 26 containers of medical equipment. And additional, after we brought in, everything in total, during my last interview with you, everything in total was to be between 50 and 55.
Yes.
So we did half. The other half, out of 26, only 6 had come in. So we are still expecting close to 20. Because in terms of beds, we want to make everything there 21st century equipment. Motorized beds. That's why you could see us every day. We are shouting, we are lunging, we are collaborating in what we call the power for all. Because we believe that we should be able to link those general hospitals to an upgrade. Since we generate electricity, we generate 150 megawatts every day. And then we build a whole lot of substations. So we also want to link this. You could see, in terms of what we are doing, one development will lead to another, will lead to another, will lead to another. They are all interwoven. So you cannot just sit back and say, oh, I just want to look at hospitals. When you look at hospitals, how will you get power to power the equipment you're bringing? What about the manpower? What about other things? What about consumables?
All infrastructures are
absolutely
connected, yeah.
You see, in the area of consumable, that's when you mention syringes. But Sam, why will we challenge to go into syringe manufacturing? Nigerians, we consume. I'm not so good in telling you, but I assume, based on my experience from the private sector, I assume as a country we don't consume less than 6 billion syringes every year as a country. And do you know whose economy we're enriching? The East, the Far East. And these things are not rocket sciences. What do we need to make syringes? Polypropylene. So, and this one, Indorama in Port Harcourt could do it. We have a whole lot that our petrochemicals, methanol plants could have done it. That's why as a state we're encouraging the quantum petrochemicals that was to be set up here.
Yes.
We had to encourage them a whole lot. So these are things that minor raw materials could actually produce. But you could see that we lost so much in terms of foreign exchange. Are people going to be importing common syringes from China? So we're challenged. The same way, Brother Sam, I know we are going to come to that now. We're challenged. You look at big countries in West Africa, Ghana, no national carrier. Nigeria, no national carrier. We sat back as a team, even before we got, if you check our blueprint, even before we were sworn in, on May 29, 2015. We said, no, this can't be rocket science, Bro Sam. What is in running? Do people running other airlines, do they have two heads? The Emirates of this world, US Airways of this world, Delta, United,
British
so many
Airways.
of them, British Airways. Let's not even go too far. In Africa, the best
Kenya.
airline in Africa is Ethiopian Airlines.
Ethiopian, sorry.
And I read somewhere, if I'm wrong, probably it's the write-up that is wrong. I'm quoting a write-up I read somewhere, that those guys make a minimum profit of $2 billion every year. Bro, $2 billion every year. If I pump that into education system alone in Nigeria, will create a whole lot of impact. That's profitable, not talking about turnover. So if these people could, I know the margin is thin, and we have a lot of challenges, especially in terms of foreign exchange, because you got everything about an airline is denominated in foreign currency.
Yes.
So we are challenged with foreign exchange, availability, and even the exchange rate. Judging from how much we are charging compared to what they charge there, an average of 1 hour flight in US, which you know very well, can be less than $575 if you are buying much earlier. If you walk across the counter to buy, you can pay over $800.
Of course.
Convert $800 at 500 and see what we are paying in Nigeria. The arithmetic is yours. I don't want to go into that. So the challenges are the same, but by and large, as government, there's no government on planet Earth, Brother Sam, that does not subsidize something. I'm not saying all of something, at least as social services, at least for people to have better means of living. So it's a whole lot we could talk about, but let me just pause again until you come.
The question will be, many people ask, you've done what could be described as entrepreneurial. I mean, this has been, for a large part, a civil service state.
Absolutely.
And now you have brought a lot of entrepreneurial energy into the proceedings. The question is, when you leave, how can we guarantee sustainability? Because you know, enterprises are believed to be private-oriented, not government.
Brother Sam, if you remember our Management 101, they taught us what they call 7 A's of management, one of which is what we call shared values, culture. Let me take, for example, the Ibom Air that we just mentioned. We are trying to put a culture in place that even if the next administration comes, you can't break that culture. It's one of the most difficult things to break. It's culture. And if you see, when people are comparing Africans, they keep talking about culture. In management, it's what we call shared values. It will be extremely to break. And that's why I made a promise to my people by this weekend, by next weekend, by end of May, let me be specific in case, people listen to me much after this period. By end of May, we are adding 2 brand new Airbus 220-300 series on a wait list, at least to service Lagos, Abuja, then Abuja, Uyo, trying to test the market. Because when you're talking about in terms of aviation business, the latest in aircraft manufacturing is A220. That's why you are finding an Airbus in Canada. If that wasn't the original, I don't want to go into that now in this short time that we have. When you talk to me specifically about aviation development, I'll take you on that. So it will be extremely difficult because you see, we are looking at a total approach. It's not just about the airline, the aircraft. You can see we are doing what we call full aviation development. From the airport, if you get to our airport, see where we came in from in 2015, and then compared to the airport you're seeing today, you know that we are going somewhere. Then look at our terminal building. I bet my certificate on it. If when we finish, you have a terminal building in West Africa. You know me, I'm not used to boasting. I would have said in the whole of Africa. You have a terminal building in West Africa that is smarter. Mind my word. You know what is selling this day on global space is smart. Yeah, everything is smart. You have a terminal building that is smarter than what we are putting up at airport in Uyo. Brother Sam, I'll break that one and build another one immediately. I'll build it and build another one to conform to the one, but I just want to guarantee you that you can't find. So it's a global, it's a total approach, it's a total concept. So we are doing fully what we call aviation development, from the terminal building to the fuel dump to to the taxiway, then to the airline. And then we build. And now from there we go into what I call the training school for man capacity development. So that we develop what we call aviation training, institute, where we also develop manpower capacity. We must be known for something. And I believe we can get it there. And we can also get it done. So whether next administration comes in or not, it will be very difficult to break the culture of Ibom Air. And before we get to that point, we would have gotten at least the number of aircraft that can make them generate enough revenue for them not to rely on government. Because the essence of setting up this business is not to rely on government, but rather to help create employment for our people, if not for any other thing, break even. Let them break even. At least we would have benefited economically. Mind you, what they eat inside that aircraft is from Akwa Ibom. Yeah. Even the water they drink in that aircraft, the water factory is in Akwa Ibom. So whatsoever, so many things, the costumes, everything there. If you look at, the entire complete value chain of what we are providing in terms of aviation development is a whole lot, and it helps stimulate the economy of the whole state. So that's what we are looking at. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation. I mean, I want to leave at that, but also be rest assured, Akwa Ibom had always been lucky with who sits on this seat. I can bet it. God will give us somebody that will sit after me, that will also be entrepreneurial in approach.
Almost as if you knew where I was going to.
It will be entrepreneurial in approach. We'll be very, very entrepreneurial in approach. Because, Brother Sam, you see, let me say something here. I like to copy things that help any economy. Brother Sam, let's get back. When we were in secondary school, we used to wear playtime sandals to school.
Yes.
Cortina.
Yes.
All those things were made in Nigeria. They were made by either Bata or Leonards.
Yes.
Then if you remember very well, when we were quite young, if you are in secondary school, you want to iron, and your iron is not working well, your colleagues will yab you that it's Abamed. It's Abamed.
Yes.
And at the same time, if they say it's not Abamed, if you say you didn't buy it in Nigeria, they say it's Taiwan.
Taiwan, yes.
What we used to call Taiwan is those people now you are calling Asian tigers.
Exactly.
Today, where is Lena? Where is Bata? Where are those Cortina playtime shoes that we used to wear to school? Philips. The iron we were using in secondary school then were manufactured by Philips. Philips was at Ajota in Lagos. So we had our own, even though generally everywhere in Nigeria at that time they were saying Aba made, but we understood what that meant. That meant that it was locally made in Nigeria, or compared to what was made in Far East, then we used to call it Taiwan. Yes. There was no difference between whether it was China. Did we know the difference? No. Anything coming from that side, we used to call it made in Taiwan. But they kept faith. Why? Because look at China. They had a population of over 1 billion people. And they had no choice. They must look for food for them to eat. They must provide a whole lot of things for them. So that propelled them to have a whole lot of backward integration that now made a complete jump. I mean, in domestic economy. So what were they doing? They first of all had to satisfy their domestic economy. Produce what we can consume. You can't beat that. Immediately you meet your domestic consumption, the surplus will always go on an export. Yeah. And there's no how you won't have a strong economy. Brother, I don't have time to go into this. Yeah. I try to break these economic principles into what anybody listening to me could understand. Yeah. But if I were to do proper economics, I mean, these are not the terms I will use, but I'm trying to break it down in a very simplistic approach. Yeah. So that anybody listening to me will really understand. And that takes us back to who should, from 2023, who should Nigeria look out for as a president? Nigeria must look out for somebody who is entrepreneurial in approach, somebody who will be more interested in the economy. Because you see, let's forget it. If we have a very strong economy, fewer people will be interested in politics. Because...
And violence.
Absolutely. That one will completely be out. How will you create violence? Where will you even see the people to create the violence? They will be very busy.
Yes.
By the time they leave for work in the morning, when they are back at 5, 6, they are tired. And tomorrow they have other assignments they need to complete. Some of them, these days, there's a whole lot on keyboard skills. A whole lot of them will be bringing back work home in their laptop. So they will be cracking their brains. I entered a factory in Vienna at a time. I discovered even the people in their research department, Brother Sam, not even one had gone to university. At most, they stop at the intermediate. But those were the people who were on the system, designing and redesigning, you know, thinking of the processes, simplifying the processes, trying to change what they used to do
before.
The
technicians.
Absolutely.
The technicians of progress.
So, I mean, so by the time we have a president who will, from 2020, will be looking into the economy of the country, will build a whole lot. See, give Nigerians right policies, you know, friendly business environment, and the ease of doing business. Nigerians can be creative.
We will continue with the second half of this interview next week.
Hey Leah, this is strike era, and you too are entitled to your own disorder. First, shut the farm crops. Keep away the kitchen spoon silhouette. Banish his children from his sense of smell. Remember to keep your bed holy, if only on that night when he pines. Let him see, but cannot sin.
Thank you for being on this show. You can join me on my column at www.samomashaye.com. And until next time, be good.